Hi, it's Mrs. Cannikins back with another Search Blitz episode. And this time we're going to look at something that's going to cover over all of the things that we've learned about searching for websites or images. And that is, how do we check the credibility of those things that we've searched? So we're going to look at a rule of three. Now, one of the big things with the rule of three is to not just look vertically. Don't just scroll up and down that page, because that isn't going to be enough. We want you to learn to go and search laterally. That means get off the page that you're on and look at some other pages. So, for example, here's a page that you might have heard about before, the Pacific Northwest Tree Octopus. It's actually a fake site. The Northwest Tree Octopus doesn't exist. But when you look at this website, it looks pretty much like it's from 10 or 20 years ago. It looks not fully modern. And so if I looked at this site right away, I might say, something seems a little suspicious here. But that's not the case for all sites. Some look really, really good. So there's some other things that we want to do. First thing we want to do is we want to look at, when was that site published. So you can scroll to the very bottom and it will tell you the date of the last updates. That's going to be really important. You're going to want to check the links. If lots of the links are broken, then that will be an issue. Is the information on the site recent, or is it all from 5 or 10 years ago? So when, check for when. Another thing you're going to want to check for is who. So this could be, who is the author of the site? And that might be a person or an organization. What do they stand for? What do they represent? Are they looking at a really specific bias or a really specific angle on an issue, or are they a source that looks at all sides? A neat trick for checking out the source of a news source or even a website source is to actually go to Wikipedia. So I'm going to come on here to Twitter. I have this article about a pit bull, and it says it's from a source called The Onion, and it loads the Onion site here. Now, I can see right away that it has quite a few advertisements on it, so that's always something to wonder. If it's a credible site, if it has lots of advertisements. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to this URL bar. I'm going to delete everything past the location, the original stem, including the slash. Now, here you'll see that the Onion says .com. A .com site is commercial. It means it probably wants to sell me something. If a source is .edu, that stands for education, like a school or a university. If a source is .gov, that means it's from a government site. But if a source is .org, that means it could be a site that someone bought, not necessarily as credible. So we've got all of the information off the back of the site. I'm going to put a space in there. Don't need that extra period. So when I have my space, I'm going to just type in Wikipedia. Now, when I press search, you're going to see that the Wikipedia search for the Onion comes to the top. So we can see right now, right away, that it says it is satirical. That means it's making fun of things. And so right away, that's going to be a sign that this probably isn't the best site for great information. I can look at things like, how long has the site been in existence? Now, this one's been around since 1988, so it is old. We could look at things like how many members or how large is the organization. Some of those things will help with its tell us about the credibility. The last thing that we're going to want to look at is where. Where can you find similar information? So if you're finding something that seems interesting, or maybe it's like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that. How could that be true? Check. Go to other sites. Go to sources that you respect, news sources that you know of. Make sure that you can find the information on other sites before you pass it along to somebody else. Another place you might consider checking for where information comes from is to go to Snopes or factcheck.org. Those are also both very reliable sites that help us fact check things that we're not too certain of. These are 3 rules that you should take a look at before you share a site with somebody else on social media or elsewhere, or before you use the facts or information or pictures from a site. So today, for our challenge is going to be this. We are going to take a topic that's a little bit controversial, and it's going to be this. I want you to Google "pit bulls are dangerous." When you do that, I want you to take 3 screenshots or 3 descriptions, or write 3 descriptions that address each of those following tests: the when test, the who test, and the where. Where can you find similar information? So when you find a fact or a claim about a pit bull, you're going to apply those 3 items and check for credibility with the rule of 3 test.